Hello, I'm Yug from Gameplanet Australia. I'm here with Shawn, who is the
senior designer on Spec Ops The Line at Jaeger.
I love it. This is brilliant. Shawn, first off, now we met about 6 months ago when you were down here in Australia, and you actually complained that I never did a magic trick for you.
That is absolutely not true. He did many magic tricks for me, but then I found out tonight that they were actually all for a girl, and I felt spurned.
Okay, so I'm about to do a magic trick for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am as ready as I can be.
Really? Okay, good. Okay, so, someone hold this. Someone hold the mic. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
I have a pack of cards here. Now, this pack of cards was bought from the convenience store just down the road.
Okay.
Do you trust me? Do you believe me?
I believe you, but I don't trust you.
Okay, good. Okay, so. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go like this. I want you to say stop wherever you want. Wherever you say stop, I want you to take that card. Can you do that?
Okay, sure. You sure?
Okay, all right. I like this microphone thing. This is working well. Okay, so say stop wherever you want.
Okay. Stop.
Yeah? Take top card. Let me see it. Have a look at it.
All right.
Okay, do you know what that card is?
Yes.
Show the camera. All right, I want you to take the pack. Okay. Take the whole pack. Put it back in there wherever you want.
Okay.
Okay. Amateur magician. We have been drinking a little bit tonight, so I don't know if this will work. How good are you at shuffling?
I'm okay. Yeah, I can shuffle. Yeah.
Give it a bit of a shuffle.
Okay.
All right. Some people are good at shuffling, some people aren't good at shuffling, and he's whoa.
What?
Stop.
Is that bad? What did I do?
Okay. Most people don't shuffle like that, for what it's worth. I should have actually prefaced this by saying I'm an amateur magician, so I'm not actually that good most of the time. But would it be a good trick if your card was the one on top?
That would be a great trick.
Would it be an amazing trick?
Sure.
Okay, you ready? Tell me. Is this the card you picked?
It is not. Nope.
You sure? Camera guys, he's not lying? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll tap that a couple of times, take it over there, I'll wave it around, make it disappear. And now is it the card you picked?
That is the card I picked.
Are you amazed?
I am absolutely amazed.
All right, let's talk about Spec Ops The Line, man.
Okay.
And now I played the game and I finished it over the weekend. It was a phenomenal, fantastic game set in a very different setting of Dubai. Now, I mean, based on the book Heart of Darkness, which was like came out made decades ago, which was set in the Congo. Why did you guys choose to set it in Dubai?
More than anything, it's this city where it's architecturally amazing, so it's a great, has some amazing set pieces, and it's very iconic, and it has this sort of thing where it's really this testament to what mankind can build, but also to, man's hubris, and the crazy things that we'll try to build out in the middle of the desert where civilization, normally wouldn't be. So, these kind of two elements, and then we just thought it would be a really interesting thing to kind of take all that, take this beautiful, amazing city, and wipe it out, and then, then we really have a playground where you have a really strong sense of place, but you also have a huge variety. So you can be, high above everything, looking out over this giant landscape. You can be inside like a pristine, luxurious environment. You can be, in our situation, like walking through, over what you think is a desert, but you're actually on top of a building that breaks out underneath you or something, So we just had a lot of crazy things that we could do with it. It gave us a lot of interesting tools.
All right, cool. Now, the other thing with Heart of Darkness, I mean, the novels, now, I haven't read them, but of course, as a professional journalist, I've done a lot of research into them and everything like that. Like, the whole darkness side of it was the darkness of the location, the darkness on the treatment of the soldiers, of the locals, and the darkness in the soldiers themselves. How do you actually convey those concepts, these mature concepts, into a video game, and especially make it accessible to a wider demographic?
I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned making accessible to a wider demographic, because, a lot of what this came from was, we looked at other military shooters, and they were very sort of Hollywood blockbuster focused. And when we looked at actual war movies, even though a lot of those came out of Hollywood, they were much grimmer, and they were much darker, and they were much more serious, and much more of this kind of human element. And so that's kind of what we wanted to get into this. It was that sort of war movie feel. And I think also when you look at that, you know, you mentioned that it might not have kind of this widespread appeal, but I think when you look at movies like that, you know, something like Saving Private Ryan had one of the most absolutely gut-wrenching openings to a movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a massive blockbuster hit. Or, you know, even outside of that genre, you have stuff like No Country for Old Men and that kind of thing, where, you know, it's very dark, it's very serious, and it's very like kind of borderline artsy, but at the same time, you know, it's also very popular. So I think people are ready for this, and I think giving it an interactive spin is really brings something new to the experience that people didn't get from literature and from movies.
Okay, well, I mean, interestingly, I mean, you've got so many shooters in the market at the moment. Like, you've got Modern Warfare, you've got the Ghost Recons and everything like that. How do you make something like Spec Ops stand out, you know, from the crowd?
I mean, a lot of it is just that tone that we were talking about. You know, so of course there's the setting, which is I think really amazing, and the sand mechanics that we have with that, where, you know, you can, you know, you throw a grenade and you expect it to just kill the people near it, but they run away. They think they've gotten away. You think they've gotten away, and then it kicks up this huge cloud of sand where they're choking and they're blinded, and then, you know, the perfect opportunity to get in there and take them out. Or, you know, you can drop like tons of sand on people, or, you know, maybe see some sand trickling from the ceiling, and you can shoot like a vent, and that'll cause like sand to come down and stun someone. So you have a lot of different kind of gameplay mechanics that come out of that. But I would say more than anything, besides the setting, besides those mechanics, is the tone that we have. You know, what we were just talking about, how it's a much more serious and a much darker take on war, and that's just something games haven't done yet.
Yeah, I mean, very, very much so. Just you mentioned sand so many times there. I mean, you know, how much trouble was it for you guys to actually? I know this sounds like a bit general, but to work with sand, I mean, as a gaming mechanic and everything like that, I mean, there's so many scenarios where, you know, you've got the enemies behind it, you can actually shoot the windows behind and the sand comes out. Sand plays such an integral part in this game. I mean, how was it working with that particular mechanic?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of it was just trying to find ways we could use it in an interesting way in the game. So, you know, we have these systemic things that I mentioned, like the grenades and like the sand falls, where, you know, sand's trickling from this thing. But then, you know, we also try to find ways that we could do things interesting with it in the environment. So, for instance, there's one point where you come in and you come down through the skyscrapers and you see that there's a giant gorge, basically, that's been made just from the sand that's piled up to these, you know, hundreds of floors high kind of thing. You know, or you have like another moment that I think I mentioned earlier, where the sand, you know, you think you're on a solid roof and the sand collapses underneath you. Yeah. So you know, some of it was just kind of finding interesting aesthetic opportunities and interesting gameplay opportunities, and then, you know, of course, there's the technical side, which just comes down to having good programmers, having good artists, having good effects guys that are just gonna pound away at it, and doing your research. I mean, we actually stole a little bit of sand from the deserts around Dubai, so we could get like the color and the texture.
Oh, hold on. Did you guys actually go to Dubai and do a lot of research?
I didn't personally, but we sent our art lead and our art director, and then also our lead designer, actually has family in Oman, and so, you know, he went and visited them and then popped over to Dubai to check things out and get kind of a sense of, you know, not just get a lot of reference photos of the architecture and that kind of thing, but just kind of get a feel for the place and like what it's kind of like, you know, like the emotional tone of it.
Okay, fantastic. So you'll be able to get Spec Ops Line on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the PC. Yep. Thank you very much. You've been a fantastic interviewer, and I hope you're impressed by the magic tricks.
Yeah, thank you. I was completely amazed and astounded.
Excellent. All right, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thank you.